Hey everyone, welcome to DM Drive. We played module 5000 in my ongoing DDWRPG role-playing game campaign this past weekend, and this is the first time that I'm actually going to talk about it. We were celebrating 40 years of that ongoing campaign. The Doctor Who role-playing game campaign that I've been playing has been running for 40 years, and that's a pretty huge milestone. One of the gamers and game writers that I know, Bob Brinkman, actually said he knows of no other role-playing game other than a D&D game, and there are some D&D games and campaigns that have lasted for 50 years, but he knows of no other campaign for a different role-playing game that's lasted that long. So our Doctor Who role-playing game campaign at 40 years might actually be the longest non-D&D RPG running in the world, which is a huge honor, especially to all those people who have played in the game. This past weekend, we celebrated the 40th anniversary of that game. So that game has actually been running since 1985. Some of the same characters are still in that game and continue to adventure, which is super exciting and fun. I've had over 300 players go in and out of that campaign. I still play with some of the very early original players, some of my friends, the Dubbers, who go all the way back to high school. When I started the campaign, we still actually play in that campaign. We get together a couple times a year maybe and still have an adventure or two. And of course, I have numerous side splinter groups that are part of that, and my main game as well. And so I play with a lot of different friends and from literally around the world. Some people will ask me, what are some things that you did to make sure that that game ran for 40 years? How do you keep a campaign going that long? So, a couple of tricks. The first is make sure that other people run games within the campaign. I serve as the campaign master, and that means that I oversee the lore and all of the details of the campaign. I have run the majority of the games, probably about 75% of them, but that other 25% of the games has been run by other players who are amazing. Those players who stepped up as game masters have created adventures that are super awesome and super great. Another thing that is important to know about the game is that we ran the game using various systems. There have been 4 different Doctor Who role-playing games that have come out, okay? There's the FASA Doctor Who role-playing game, which is the game that we started with, which was released in 1985. There's actually 3 different editions of that game. You just have to know what to look for. I recommend checking out the Diary of Doctor Who Role-Playing Games fanzine, which has a lot of detailed information to let people know which version is which of the FASA game. In 1991, another game was released by Virgin Publishing, which was publishing the Doctor Who New Adventure books at that time, and that game was called Time Lord. And Time Lord was kind of a short-lived game, but very fun and very good. It was pretty solid. One of the shortcomings of Time Lord was that it did not actually feature character creation rules. Some had been made, but not originally included in the book, so the push for that game was really that you played the Doctor and his companions and not original characters. There was a third game that came out from Cubicle 7, which was called the Doctor Who role-playing game, Adventures in Time and Space, sometimes called DWAITS is what a lot of people shorten that to. That game came out in 2009, and after a long period in which there was not any new original Doctor Who role-playing content that you can get. So that was pretty cool. In 2021, they actually came out with the official second edition of that game. There's numerous reprints of it, usually featuring the branding of the different Doctors. So it came out when David Tennant was the Doctor. And then it actually went through different versions with Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi. With the 13th Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, they came out with the second edition. And then, of course, they've continued to upgrade the book and stuff like that. Cubicle 7 also released the Doctor Who game, which was first released in PDF in 2022, but came out as a print edition in 2023, which is 5e compatible as a Doctor Who role-playing game, and that game was called Doctors and Daleks. Besides that, our game has also used rules from Call of Cthulhu, Dungeons and Dragons, Primeval, many different gaming systems. Daggerheart has even been used in some of the games, and that's still coming out, and we had people in our group who were playtesters. So really, don't be afraid to change systems, but keep adding to the lore of your campaign. Ultimately, our game slowly evolved into home rules, taking the best parts of all of the campaigns and putting them together into one, and that's one of the things that's really kept the game going. Another thing is how you play the game and where you play the game. We, of course, have always gotten together traditionally at the tabletop, sat down in a group and played the game. But very early on, we were doing play-by-mail modules, literally writing snail mail letters to one another as we did adventures. As some of our friends went off to the military, or some of our friends were in different parts of the country, we would actually snail mail adventure modules together. I know that John Curtis and I know that Al Sumner were a big part of some of those play-by-mail games. Of course, with the advent of email, when we started the game, email was very new, actually. Very few people had access to it, but as we went to college, got access to email, we of course also did play-by-email games, and that was a great way for the game to continue on. We have played remotely. Even before COVID happened, we were doing games where we would Skype people into games via the computer so they could join us at the tabletop. During COVID in 2020 and after, we did a lot of virtual games where we logged on and all met virtually. And that was actually one of the best things that happened to us, because our groups were able to get together and actually play the game together while we were on lockdown in our own homes. And if there's younger people here that may not know COVID, when the COVID pandemic had hit, people were required to stay in their homes, and it was actually the very safest thing that a person could do, because the respiratory illness could spread if you were in groups and you didn't know who people had contact with. So online gaming became a thing, and that actually really led to the, I would say, like the second renaissance of role-playing games, when they became super popular again as people were looking for things to do social that could be done online, and role-playing games was one of those things. We've also played at a lot of super cool locations. So some of the places that we've actually played the Doctor Who role-playing game include under the Holzner Tor in Lübeck, Germany, kind of a very famous landmark in that German city. We've played the game on the beaches of the Dominican Republic. I've played adventure modules on top of the Great Wall of China. Friends of mine went on their honeymoon in Japan, and we were playing games, and so they actually Skyped in, and they were gaming the game while they were in Tokyo, and I even think maybe Kyoto, or like they were in a bunch of different places and they played some games. I have played the game in the UK, specifically at the Torchwood Obelisk, as people like to call it, but in Cardiff, Wales. In the UK, I've actually played the game, and what a better place to play Torchwood Connected Adventure than to be right at the obelisk, the sort of rainfall, waterfall type statue and monument that they have there. A very exciting and fun thing. The main point is find ways to make the campaign work for you. I've also included campaign games as a way to include into the adventures and to keep the game going. So everybody who's played at a campaign or a convention with me, that counts towards greater campaign. I hope that's helpful to you guys. I hope you really enjoy that. I'm glad you listened. Thank you for being here with me, and I really hope you guys enjoy DM Drive.